What's up, coaches? Coach O'Neal here, back again with another video. This video is discussion that you can see on the board. We're talking about attacking the 3-stack. So I'm just going to give you a few things that I feel that can be very successful in your program with the type of kids you have. I tried to do this video yesterday, but obviously I had some of my high school kids wanted to come in and ruin the party. So I deleted it and I decided to start over and start fresh and give you guys quality material. I just didn't want to throw anything out there because I didn't feel good, and then I didn't feel good about it. And when they came in, I started messing up on the board. It just lost my whole train of thought talking. So I'm read the video, re-going over the material, re-going over the information, re-going, you know what I mean. But anyway, so like I said, we're starting off with talking about the 3-3 stack. I'm gonna just give you a few pointers, few things that I understand about the defense and what I think will be very effective for you guys in your own system, or if you like to use this, or just taking my information and being able to allow yourself to create your own system that can attack this defense and make yourself very successful in this defense. So for starters, what I'm going to talk about, obviously, we're going to talk about the fronts, all right, this tackle box. This is generally what I'm going to start off with every video that I discuss attacking defenses. So I want to talk about that tackle box because that pertains to the run game. All right, so obviously in a 3-3 stack, in a true 3-3 stack, this is what you'll see. All right, this is what their honorary alignment in that personnel will look like. All right, so your defensive ends, so both of your defensive ends will play head up 4 technique. So if a 4 technique for my young coaches who don't know, a 4 technique is a head up end who's head up on that tackle. All right, he's mano y mano. Along with this, you might see some D ends every once in a while play 5s. I mean, it really if they play 5s, it really doesn't matter. I mean, they're still in a stack formation, but generally, if they're playing 5s, they might be telling you that they're probably containing the edge, or they're responsible for the edge play, or your backers might be stunned inside. So it's a lot of things. But generally, in this defense, this is the way they align. All right. So like I said, you'll have a head up 4 with both defensive ends. You'll have a head up 0 with your nose. Your linebackers, you'll have a 40 backer over the end. You have a 40 backer over the other end. Your Sam and your Will. And then your Mike is also playing a 0 backer. So this is the tackle box. This is what this looked like. This is generally what you'll see in that tackle box. All right. Now, I'm not saying even though this is 50 stack, and obviously the beautiful thing about 50 stack is if you run a true 50 stack, your linebackers have to be successful. All right. Your linebackers have to be good, and your nose have to be a goddamn dude. All right. He can't be no Rudy Poo kid or undersized nose tackle who can't get movement. If he can't at least clog up or create chaos on this line between those A gaps, there's no point in having him out as a defensive coach. So, like I said, this is the tackle box. This is generally what you see. Your outside backer, especially in a too high look with too high safeties, your outside backer will be this guy right here, the striker. I call him the striker. You can call him whatever you want in your own terminology, but I call him the striker. So generally, your outside backer is a hybrid backer. He's a nickel. He's a DB linebacker, a guy who can play slot, but he can also put his head on the ball and make a hit if he needs to. He's not afraid of contact. So generally in this defense, what they'll do with this guy is normally their edge blitzer, right? So you'll see something like this where he'll probably cover the split, all right? Or he'll apex the guy. All right, so you'll see those two things. Either he'll be head up over that guy, over that receiver, or he's going to apex between the last man on the line of scrimmage and that receiver, right? So generally when he's apexing, this is just giving him a good position to be able to either cover the pass or to help with run game, all right? So this is why generally you see guys apex. What else? So like I said, the strength of this defense, all right? So if you see guys run this, generally – the strength of this type of defense, the strength of this 3-3 stack would be these backers, all right, and that nose, like I stated. But generally, for the most part, it would be the linebackers. The reason why the linebackers are so important in this type of defensive personnel is just because they move around a whole lot. All right, you'll see these guys do all kind of things. Generally, your Mike is probably your bigger style, your bigger size type of guy, just because he's going to be attacking the A gaps or B gaps, depending on what they have him doing. But like I said, the beautiful thing about this defense, and I will say this, I actually am a fan of the 50 stack. I'm not gonna lie. But the beautiful thing about this defense is the ability to move these guys around and create chaos through those stunts and blitzes. So that's a beautiful thing about it. The weakness of this defense, obviously, the weakness of this defense, obviously, is the B gaps. All right, obviously the B gap guys our guards are uncovered, so that gives us great running lanes for offenses. We can attack and control the B gaps. We can dominate the game and dominate the trenches. just because they do not have that much help on the line. All right, you're giving up our guards. We can do a lot of things with guards being uncovered. We can pull guys. It'll be easier to down block on guys. There's a lot of beautiful things you can do when your guards are uncovered. So, like I said, that's one weakness that this defense has. Another weakness that this defense has, your perimeter pressure or your perimeter coverage or anything. Your perimeter defense, if you want to just put it all in one. All right. Obviously, here, in a sense, you'll have a two-on-two matchup, but you can also count that safety if you like. But in general, like I said, the perimeter is pretty much, I'm not going to say wide open, but you have a better advantage, all right, in the perimeter just because guys like to move him and attack the line of scrimmage, or he'll cover a guy, and that gives your receiver an opportunity to have a clean block or seal him inside if he likes to play apex or anything. But you can easily get to the perimeter versus the defense and force them to have to adjust, all right? So those are two weaknesses about this defense. Another thing that you can do that will make you effective in this defense is creating movement out of their secondary. Obviously, versus a too high look of the 3-3 stack, this is generally what you get. But in high school, what you'll see most of the time, in high school, what you'll end up seeing, this guy, your rover, will probably cheat in a little bit. All right, he's going to play deep third, middle of the field, and then your free, or it really doesn't matter. However they bring him down, but your free will end up being an extra backer. All right, so you have two force players on end. So this is generally what you'll see on a high school level. All right, I've yet to see a team on the high school level run a 3-3 stack defense with two high safeties. All right, so generally when they're running it, when I seen high schools that we competed against, especially when I coached in Texas, when I seen high school defensive coordinators call defensive personnel, this is the true instance that you'll get. All right, this is what you'll get out of that defense, just because they want to create pressure. That's generally why they run this formation, just because they want to allow pressure by these guys. Because, like I said, their responsibility is basically edge protection. All right, so they're just making sure nothing gets outside of them because they're the last line of defense. If you get outside of these guys like this, hey, we got a show. I'm not gonna lie, offense is gonna have a great show, and we're gonna put up big numbers that night. So that's the benefit. That's the benefit of this defense, and that's what can happen. The strength and the weakness of this defense is the ability to create movement with the secondary. And the way you create movement with the secondary, fly motions, shifts in motion. And another thing that you can do is very heavy, and I will show you in a few, by adding tight ends, or if you're not a tight end guy like me, you can add extra flex backs. So adding extra guys to the line of scrimmage to help the O-line out, that's going to force that safety, one of those safeties, to come down and be an extra linebacker, an extra force player, all right? And when that happens, we might can do some big things off of that, all right? So let me get through I'm getting through all the stuff so I can get to the plays. So anyway, after that, versus this look, versus a one high look, I would say if you have great receivers or you have some fast receivers, you have a better chance for a one-on-one matchup with your outside receivers, all right? Because generally, like I tell everybody, if you have a one high safety, it's generally in high school, there's only two coverages they're going to play. Well, really three, but you can combine one of them. So you'll have cover one, you'll have cover 0, and then you'll have cover 3. That's the only things they can play in this defense. All right. Now, like I said, I've seen one high school defense in Texas. Defensive coordinator ran a formation like this. It wasn't a 50 stack. It was a 4-4. But what he did was, it was pretty funky. I actually liked it. All right. So like I said, you generally do not see if that safety is rolled down into the force player area or outside as an alignment of outside linebacker. All right. Generally, you'll never see him drop back into a deep quarters or whatever. So I actually played against a coach, or we competed against a coach in I want to say it was Huntington. Probably it was Huntington. I might be getting the name wrong, but I do remember the team we played. I just can't remember the name. But anyway, we competed against these guys, and it was one play where the safety came. He was down into outside linebacker look as a force player, and then pre-snap before the ball was snapped, bailed quick and played quarters. Never seen that before in high school level except that one time, man. And for a high school quarterback, that can really mess up his eyes to have movement like that. Because generally, a high school quarterback is gonna look at the pre-snap.
Since you have less than 1 minute to get to class, and we will do a call sweep, so get to class.
So anyway, like I said, generally you'll see that guy there, and if they're down near this tackle box area, they're flying to the ball, all right, or they're containing that edge, make sure nothing get outside the edge. So, like I said, and generally another thing, if you ever have a one high safety look, to help you along with running the football, you can create more QB runs. If you have an athletic quarterback, He can be a great asset in the run game. This can give the 50 stack help because you have an extra run blocker for your quarterback, and you can easily get positive yards without any trouble. So these are just a few pointers I want to point out that that can affect this defense. That can put you in a great position to be successful for your team and to put your young guys in position to execute plays at a high standard. So I just wanted to point out those things before I get into plays that I think can be effective. So now, first things first, I'm going to talk about the run game. So like I said before, the beautiful thing about a offensive coordinator and playing against a 50 stack, and I'm just going to bring the safety back up here. So the beautiful thing about playing against a 50 stack is the B gap is open all the time, all right? Unless they step a linebacker into that gap or do some kind of bear look where they put the ends on the guards, then that's something different. But in general, all right, those B gaps, that B gap is going to be open and your guards are going to be uncovered. So one run play that I feel is a very effective, at least in my playbook, is the ISO, all right? So you want to gash these guys in the ISO. So what you'll do here, like I stated before.
Teachers, at this time, would you please close your doors? All of those students still roaming in the hallway, please make your way down to the cafeteria.
Like I said that. So anyway, what you're going to do, all right? So obviously play side ISO play. So what we're going to do, we always got to have that double team on that nose, all right? We want to double that nose, and we want to work to the mic, all right? Since the mic is over that nose, if you try to get the A, you can get the H back there if you want to, but like I said, everybody else is working from that double team block. So in essence, your H back has to take this sound, all right? Your play side, everybody else, like I said, the rules are you double team the nose, you ISO the first play side inside linebacker. So since with that being said, we got to double the nose, climbing to the mic from there. So that means this play side tackle takes that end out of the picture. All right, backside, what you'll see that backside guard, he can work to that mic, to that wheel, and then the backside tackle is working to that end. So you'll get a look like this. All right, so and make sure every time your quarterback hands off the ball, he runs away. So you'll get a look like this where you make sure your running back is pressing that A gap. As soon as that you part the Red Sea, I would tell everybody, man, once that running back gets to the line of scrimmage, you better be hauling ass, full speed, hitting it hard, blow the top off the goddamn lid. All right. So make sure you tell him once he gets to the line of scrimmage, hit it hard and fast, because all you need is one crease and he's gone. All right. We're man blocking, so he's got a body on the body, get guys downfield, get hands on. All right. With the quarterback running away, that can keep this guy still in a sense. He has to watch it, use his eyes to make sure that the ball did not roam anywhere else. So it's going to give him an opportunity where it's going to slow him down just a little bit if he's apexing and blitzing. All right. So with the quarterback running away from the ISO, you can eventually have this guy run himself out of the play. That's something that can happen. Now, another thing that you can do would be versus the 50 stack, is power play. All right. The power play is a good play to use versus this defense. Get a few things out the way. So anyway, like I said, the power play is a great play to use versus the 50 stack, like I said, because you got your guards are uncovered, all right, so they can easily pull and get hands on the guys on the second level. So we're going to start from backside. So backside, your tackle gap seal hinge, all right, no B gap flow. We don't want nobody to get to that B gap, all right. Your play side tackle, all right, he's going to work right to that mic, all right. He's working to that mic. We got to seal him in, make sure he doesn't get over top. Like I said, what I told you guys, I want to say a few videos ago, when your guys are blocking, the best way to help them have a visual of the way they need to block, their ass should be to the football. All right. So when I'm blocking, my ass should be pointing to that football. If my ass is to the football, I'm doing a great job. And it means my guy who's running the ball, my ball carrier, has a open lane to run the ball. All right. So key point, ass to the football. We got good blocking going on. All right. So anyway, back to it. Your play side guard. All right. He's going to double. He's going to double with the center on the nose. And you guys are going to work to that backside wheel, all right? That's how this should look. Now, you're pulling, Now, your backside guard, he's pulling for that sound, all right? He's going to pull, and he's going to get that sound. And then lastly, but not least, your H-back or your flex back, he's basically going to kick out that defensive end. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little twinkle. Say this end squeezes. Hey, you have a defensive end that squeezes hard, all right? So he does something in a fashion like this where he makes it tough. He makes it tough for that H-back to get inside or to kick him out. So what do we do to fix that situation if that defense end is giving us problems? You can easily make a tag. Now, what I call in my offense, I call it pork chop, all right? So pork chop is telling the H-back, and the guard. That some things is going to change on their running path to their assignments. All right. So say our guys is talking to us already. All right. Excuse me. So our guys is talking to us already. Let's say our lineman will get on to come off the field. Coach, that defensive end to the play side is crashing hard into the B gap, man. I can't scoop him up out of there. I can't get him up out of there. And this is what your flex is saying. Well, you tell your flex to call out pork chop, or you can tell your flex or your right tackle. It really doesn't matter. All right. So obviously, if the guy's going to attack the B gap, he's going to be playing more so of a 4-eye anyway. So he's going to show exactly where you're going, especially if you have wide splits like I do. So he's gonna have to show where he's going on that gap. So if he's crashing that B gap hard, pork chop call, pork chop, pork chop, pork chop. That's all you should hear. Pork chop. Big boy, big boy sandwich if they like him. So pork chop is gonna tell this H-back, all right, you're gonna slog him inside, all right. So we're gonna try to get this tackle to work his way still to that guy, all right, because we still need to get that mic out of the picture. All right. And your H-back, instead of kicking him out, you're going to seal him in. All right. Now, what will happen, that will just change the path of your guard. So your guard is going to go, instead of going and hitting the B gap, he's going to go outside of the H-back and pick that guy up. So in essence, when he's running that powers, when your running back is running the power, he's going to bounce in a sense. All right. So you have something like this. And if you want, like I said, you can tag some RPOs, even if you don't want to throw them, but you can tag RPOs to the play side to get this guy out of the picture. Like I said, if he's blitzing off the edge, obviously you need to change some things up, but you can easily run an RPO tag out of this. All right. You can run bubble, you can run spot. It really doesn't matter. But anything to keep him occupied and from attacking that play side edge. If he attacks that play side edge, like I told you guys in the beginning of the video, no help on the perimeter. All right. There won't be no help. It'll be the corner who has to make that play, and then by then it's 2-on-1. So he pick his poison on what he wants to do. So this is something that you can do. That will be very effective versus a 3-3 stack. This, if you include, I also can work with this alone. If you're not an ISO guy like me, if you're not a man blocker, if you're a zone blocking guy, inside zone is still beautiful versus a 3-3 stack, just because your guards are uncovered, so they can easily get to double teams or work their way up to the second level and put hands on the second level linebacker. So either way, inside zone, ISO, anything that attacks the defender in them trenches, in that tackle box, man, that'll put you in a good position. So issue that you can come about. One issue that can disrupt everything in your offense versus this defense would be that nose. All right. And I said this at the beginning of the show. If their nose is a dude, you got to make adjustments, guys, because that's generally when guys run 50 stack, their nose, they generally have a big boy in their nose. And generally the big boy doesn't do anything. Excuse me. Generally, the lineman is in a nose position. They're probably your defensive coordinator, your defensive coach is probably telling him, I just want you to whoop somebody's ass. Like that's your assignment. Your assignment is not to get to the quarterback, but if you can, it's all gravy. But for the most part, your assignment is to whoop who's ever ass you're in front of and just create complete chaos on this line of scrimmage. So say you have a team that has a dude, all right, they got a I don't know, 6'3", 280, 290 senior, junior, I don't know, whatever you want to call him. And he's just playing he's whooping your center ass, man. Like the center he can't make any calls every time he pulls or every time he try to down block. That nose just beats the shit out of him and put him out of the play. What can you do to situate that or to change that problem? What you can do is you can attack the perimeter. All right. So one thing you can do, excuse me, I'm gonna start this way. You can attack the perimeter. Well, what you can do, you can run the jet sweep. All right. Jet sweep will be a good deal to run out of this just because. Let me draw it up here. You got extra blockers to the back side if you want to run to the black side. Now, what will happen and what should happen versus defensively wise, this is how you stop this. Or defensively, this is how they should stop this. They got to bring that guy down. All right. If they don't bring that safety down and make him an extra linebacker, they're asking to get their ass killed in the perimeter. They're asking for us to run a jet sweep all night long because that's just what's going to happen. All right. So, like I said, generally when you have a guy running a jet sweep, your safety should rotate. All right. They should rotate. He should rotate over to the middle of the field. This guy right here should rotate right down to that backer. So it'll look something like that, and your free will come an extra nickel. All right. Or your rover, whoever they put down there, it really doesn't matter. But your safety will just become an extra backer to try to contain that edge. All right, he'll have to get that because he has to get that quicker. Now, here's another thing, and this is something I learned my first defensive job in Jasper, Texas, when I was outside linebacker coach. When they're running a jet, just because you bring that guy down, that doesn't mean you got it contained. All right, when they're running the jet sweep, what they should do, as he is down here, if you want, and this is for my defensive-minded guys, if you don't know how to stop the jet sweep, this is something that you can teach your kids to do, and it will easily stop it. So, like I said, if they're here on this edge, that doesn't mean they're going to completely stop the jet sweep because obviously we got 2 lead blockers coming, and all we got to do is put one guy on him, and then, we got to play. But what you can teach your guys, and this is what I said, what I learned as a defensive coach, my first defensive job, what I learned is instead of having them attack off the edge, before they attack off the edge, you widen them. All right. So defensive coaches, you just widen his alignment just a bit. All right, probably a yard or 2. Because now what would happen is when you come off and you don't attack the edge completely. You don't just come straight off the C gap. Like that's a dumb idea. You want to widen him out and make him have a little bow in a sense. All right, like make him have a little bow when he comes off the edge. Because what's going to happen, even if these guys do get hands on him, say the running back put his hands onto that guy, this jet sweep guy has to plant his foot and get north and south. All right. So you're asking, and this is, like I said, my defense coach, this is something you can use. All right. So you're asking a guy who's going to be running full speed, sideline to sideline, to plant his foot and get straight up field. That gives the offense hell. All right. So if you guys struggle with coaches, if you struggle with stopping the jet sweep, that's the way to do it. All right. Just put your guy on the line, not on the line of scrimmage, but you can put him on the line of scrimmage and widen him out a yard or 2. So when the jet sweepers come, he just widen out with the jet and forcing that guy to plant his foot to get north and south. So that's how you stop that, guys. I just gave you a green nugget, if you want to call it that. So anyway, like I said, the defense is going to have to bring this guy down, all right, to honor that jet sweep and to contain it, because if they don't, they're giving us the perimeter. They're giving us a easy lane to run the ball, all right, and we have more hats to block on this side of the field than they do to pretty much contain it. So this is one way you can do this. Another way you can do it, outside zone. All right, outside zone is another play that you can run that can attack the perimeter with. All right. So and really outside zone read. All right. So anything when I'm running zone, because only in my offense now I have outside zone. I'm not teaching inside zone anymore. I didn't convert it from inside zone to ISO. And the reason, like I said, I think I want to say my first video made, I explained why I switched from, or my ISO video, I explained why I switched from the ISO, from the inside zone to the ISO. And that was only due to the fact that this past season, I did not feel that my O-line was what's the word I can use? I feel they wasn't smart enough to know their assignments when they're creating movement. As they're moving down the line of scrimmage and try to get upfield, I feel like they wasn't smart enough to know, okay, if I get off this guy off the double team, who do I climb to next? You'll have guys running free. So what I decided after sitting down, I was like, you know what, let's get away from that zone play. We can run it outside because, it's just a race. All right, you get hands on and you try to seal the wall as you're running. That should be easy to teach. But if I wanted to attack the defense head on, ISO, man blocking is the way to go. All right, I'm coming directly at your ass. All right, if you don't stop me, obviously you're weak soft. So if you soft, we're going to beat you up all the way in the trenches until you make some adjustments. So anyway, like I said, outside zone read is another play that you can run, especially out of this formation. So as you can see, I like to use our 2-back system a lot. So what I would do out of outside zones, like I said, you'll have this guy here, run his zone action, run his zone step, make sure his heels is at the quarterback's toes, right? The toes of the quarter. The quarterback's, the line on the field should go through the quarterback's toes, all right? Right through his feet. So he should be at 5 yards. If you don't have your quarterback at 5, you like him at 4 in the spread, hey, it's on you. It really doesn't matter. Me personally, I'd rather 5 yards because that gives him room away from the line of scrimmage, and it gives him a little bit more time if we're throwing the ball. So I keep my quarterback at 5, but you can do whatever you like. So, like I said, anyway, we're zone stepping. Obviously, we're doubling here. We're climbing. All right, lost my hand. Doubling here. We're climbing. We're trying to climb to him. This guy we're reading. All right. So here's the thing you can do. Now with this H-back, because obviously we're gonna block play side. So with this H-back, it's 2 things you can do. If whatever you want, you can either have him what I call tough. I tag a tough, and tough tag is basically telling him you're going play side. I learned that at Missouri Valley as a grad assistant. We ran straight outside zone a lot, and when we had an H-back or a fullback on the field, they'll just tag tough to it, and tough just telling you you're arc releasing play side. You're taking most dangerous player. All right, so you can tag tough If you want to do something in that sense where you have an extra blocker to the play side for your outside zone, or if you want to spread that defense out and confuse some guys, you can have him arc release backside, take most dangerous guy off the play side edge. All right. Most dangerous off the play side edge. So we're going to leave that defensive end alone. Also, you can say most dangerous guy outside the defensive end. That's the best way to put it. So he won't touch that guy. So most dangerous guy outside of the defensive end because we're reading him. So now if that safety is there or he comes down, I instantly know my eyes should be upfield as an H-back, and I see him coming. I'm ready to put him on his ass. I'm running full speed to put him on his ass. And like I told you guys before in one of the videos, I was talking about blocking. When you're telling your guys to block, tell him don't chase the guy. All right. I'm running directly at him. All right. He has to decide on where he wants to go. If I'm chasing him, if he runs this way and I'm chasing, I'm giving him opportunity to make the play. So instead, as a bigger body guy going against a defensive back, if I'm going directly at him, he has to either go inside or outside. And then from there, your ball carrier better be a ball player. All right. So you better use your eyes and know which cut I need to make to get to the grass. All right. So like I said, that's another carrot you can use in your own deep or your own scheme when you're teaching your guys how to block. Run directly at them. Don't chase them. All right. So this is, like I said, there's two things you can do with the H-back. You can have him tough tag and he can lead the outside zone, or you can arc release backside and have him help your quarterback if he wants to run the ball. So if he pulls that ball, that end commits to the running back, he pulls the ball, arc release. I got a lead blocker now. So obviously I'm expecting my X to do his job and take the corner out to play. All right. So another deal that you can do is, like I said, the quarterback runs, QB runs. And I'm not going to draw. Well, I should, but I'm not going to draw up the QB power that I want to put on here. I mean, I'm going to let you guys use your noodle to create your own QB power. But with the QB runs, it gives you an extra blocker. All right, especially with me with two-back system, I have two extra blockers in the backfield to protect my quarterback when he runs the ball. So that gives me extra hats to take over the numbers. So like I said before, you can attack the trenches, attack the B gap because they're giving up the B gap. Or you can have him attack the perimeter. And with those lead blockers, I mean, he should have a wall to get you some positive game. There should be no reason where you lose yards. All right. There should be no reason you lose yards running your quarterback unless he's doing something completely damn dumb. Like run the ball to the sideline and then try to reverse field like he's Lamar Jackson. Like don't do nothing like that because I'm gonna strain your goddamn neck when you come to the sideline. So just teach your quarterbacks how to run the football. But like I said, having a athletic mobile quarterback is very good versus a 50 stat because now you have extra run blockers to help protect your QB as he runs the ball. If I was you, in my personal opinion, I rather run my quarterback when I'm in the money zone or the red zone, if y'all want to call it that. If I'm in the money zone, I'm running my quarterback a little bit more just because, the field is shorter. A lot of guys are more compact. Defense is going to be more compact because they're going to be trying to stop the run. But if we're having a quarterback as a run through, now we got more hats to contain. If they want to go 8 in the box or whatever, we can have a body on the body and play physical football, smash my football if we choose that. Or, we can run some RPO tags off of QB runs. Anything to keep the defense guessing is what it's all about. All right. So and like I said, QB run is good versus when they have a 1 high look. All right. If they have a 2 high look, it's still perfect. That's more hats more hats for blockers for you. So you have more blockers for their defensive guys if they run 2 high look. But 1 high look will still be very effective due to the fact that, like I said, that guy will be coming off the edge and you can attack the perimeter either way you want. Attacking the perimeter, you'll still have extra blockers to get him out the way and get your quarterback some positive yards. All right. So these are just a few run plays that I feel will be effective versus a 3-3 stack. Like I said, if you guys are not ISO guys, if you're not an ISO run game, man blocking like I am, inside zone read is still a good concept versus this 50 stack because your guards are uncovered. That's the only reason. That's a beautiful reason to have. When your guards uncovered, you can do a lot of things. All right, your guards can get some momentum. Another thing that you can do, and I'm not going to draw it up, but you can also pull your guards. All right, so you can pull your guards and have more hats to the perimeter if you would like to do that. Say they're doing some stuff where they're creeping that strike back down. He's starting to play with that edge. All right, you can start hitting them with some perimeter plays and make them honor that and have to really play base defense in the 50 stack. If they run something like this, in essence, they'll have the free coming off the backside edge. Which, if we run into the play side, you're out of the picture either way it goes. So those are just some things that you can do that can pretty much neutralize this defense if you do it effectively. Like I said, hit the trenches hard, all right? Hit that B gap hard, gash them in the run game, gash them in the trenches. Find out who's the most physical specimen in them trenches. And from there, you'll have a more advantage in your offense if you can control the trenches, all right? And that's with any offense, man. That's in general. If you can establish and control the run, the defense can't stop it, then you're in a better position to be successful because you're just showing that you're just outmanning them and you're just more physical. And, no defensive guy who likes getting punched in the mouth every play. Like, if you're on the field to lay hat and the running back comes or the receiver gets the ball and he's running right at you, instead of falling down and running out of bounds, he runs you over. As a defensive guy, you shell shock because you don't like, oh, no, I wasn't expecting that. Like, these guys are physical. So be physical, all right? Be physical in them trenches. Now, another thing, like I said, you can also attack the perimeter, but you don't have to solely attack the perimeter instantly, all right? I would say if this guy right here is giving you hell, that nose is giving you hell, or if this guy coming out the edge screaming, giving you hell, I would attack the perimeter now. And by attacking the perimeter, I would say outside runs or RPOs. All right. So anything that can get the ball to that perimeter fast and get blockers to that perimeter fast would be a great thing to do. All right. So that's just running game wise. Now, passing game wise, these are the things that work very well versus the 50 stack. All right. You can do sprint outs. So sprint out concepts are very good. Getting your quarterback out of the pocket, getting the pocket moving. That's one thing. You have concepts where you can run, as in, for example, your split receiver runs a post, your flanker runs a go route. All right, so that creates separation in the field, forces your safety have to decide where he wants to run the ball, and in essence, creates a one-on-one matchup. Like I said, versus a too high look. Versus a too high look, this is where you teach your quarterback to use his eyes. All right, so obviously versus a too high look, we have a 3-on-2 situation here. All right, to the play side. And like I said, you can easily run something in a fashion where, like example, let's see. I'm gonna give you guys my comeback play. So I'm gonna draw up the comeback or the sprint out comeback concept. All right. So give me a second. Let me clean this up real quick. So, like I said, there's some numerous things in the passing game that you can do that can make you very effective and put you in a great position. So, for example, like I said, the comeback route. Or the comeback concept. Your wide receiver has a corner, all right? Your wide receiver has a corner. Your Z receiver, inside release, IR hard, or hard IR. If you guys know what IR is, inside release, or is outside release, all right? So this is teaching your receivers, point of direction. So it's teaching your receivers ways to get open, or it's teaching your receivers way to create separation between that DB, but also set them up so you can run a cleaner route. All right, I've seen, like this past year, I had receivers who you tell them to run a corner route, and they'll have the cornerback will play inside. They don't know how to adjust. They don't know what to do to adjust to it. So, I start teaching them in IR and OR. All right, so when you hear IR, inside release, that means I'm attacking that inside shoulder of that defensive back hard. I want him to have to turn his hips. All right, I want him to turn his hips and run with me, because if he turn his hips, I got him where I want. All right, so IR right here, inside release, and he's running a 15-yard comeback. All right. He's running a 15-yard comeback. Backside, you have the deep drag by the X receiver. Here, you can do two things. All right, you can put your H back into the flats, or you can have your B back into the flats. Me personally, I prefer to do something like this, where your B back and your H back attack the edge. Your quarterback gets wide, fast, hard and fast gets wide, and now he's going from 1 to 2, and he is the run threat for 3. All right, 1, 2 to 3. Now, the reason why you want to do that, because obviously this guy right here should easily run with that corner route, all right? I'm expecting if they're playing man, all right, he's going to be chasing, but I don't mind him chasing, because by the time he breaks into that angle, breaks into his corner angle, this guy should be beat if he's chasing him off rip. So these two will be chasing, all right? It all pertains to what he does is where you go with that ball if you throw it upfield, all right? So obviously if he plays Porter and Bell, take away the corner route, you have the comeback, all right? So that means you can throw the comeback. Obviously, if he sits on the comeback, you have the easy window to the sideline with the corner route. Say you want to say your quarterback wants to throw the comeback, but this guy takes over right here. All right, he takes that curl flat area. All right. Well, now there's your quarterback with the number 3. Tuck the ball, run the football, get what you can. Now, when you're running sprint out, and this is why I tell my quarterbacks when we're running sprint out, we get open our hips. We want to get wide, hard and fast, and then before we throw the ball, we want to finish to the line of scrimmage. So now with us finished with the line of scrimmage, obviously it makes a cleaner throw, a better throw off the run. But the most important thing, say this guy takes that comeback, he gets underneath that comeback route. Well, with me running directly to the line of scrimmage, now I can easily tuck the ball and get yards. All right. So now that puts him in the bind of not knowing what to do, not knowing what the quarterback doing. So it might be one play we run, this quarterback comes out and he throws to some bitch, get a clean, nice, good chunk play or something, if you want to say. Next play, the defensive coach will say, hey, don't let him get that ball off again. So he gets underneath that. Now he's opening up grass for us to run. So like I said, by the quarterback turning his shoulders to the line of scrimmage, he opens grass for me. I'm tucking the ball and getting what I can. So that's one way you can do one passing concept. This is a great concept to run versus this defense. Like I said, even if they play one high, it makes it even better for you. Because like I said, he's going to get vertical. He's going to play curl flats. And that gives your quarterback grass to run the ball as the number 3 option. Or like I said, if you don't want your quarterback, if he's not a mobile QB or a guy who can run the ball, you can easily put your H-back or your running back into the flats. And now you have a 3-man concept still. All right. So that's a way you can do that. Like I said, and backside drag would be there if, say, the safeties were to do something retarded and just lose their eyes on who they're guarding. Then your quarterback can see him running across field, and that can be another easy throw. But more importantly, 1, 2 to 3. All right, 1, 2 to 3, we got to play. And as you can see, the third option is not just throwing the ball. It's him easily knowing, okay, tuck the ball and run, get what I can. All right, so that's one way you can do it. Like I said, another thing you can do, and I call this wide glance. All right, wide glance is basically – excuse me. Let me draw this up for you guys. So, wide glance is a shot play. All right, it's a shot play in my playbook, but it's basically a post and a go on the play side, and then your solo receiver backside has a go route. If we was in a spread set, your slot receiver to the backside be running a dig, so like a 10 to 12-yard dig route. All right, so if I was to draw it up, it would look something like this. All right. So we got the post here, all right, instead of an IR, because we're running outside, it's an OR, all right? So outside, I want a hard outside release, make him turn his shoulders, bottom of the numbers, all right? So whenever we're running vertical, I don't care if it's a fade, I don't care if it's a go route. If we're going vertical, tell your guy bottom of the numbers. The reason why we want him bottom of the numbers, because that gives your quarterback 7 yards to throw a shitty ball. Obviously, we all have high school quarterbacks, and we don't have no Trevor Lawrence's popping out of the ass, and we definitely don't have any Tom Brady's coming out real soon, especially on the high school level. So you will have a quarterback throw a duck. He might throw a duck. It happens. You know, it's high school football. But the beautiful thing about this, if you teach your receivers to stay at the bottom of the numbers, if he was to throw a duck and throw that some bitch to the sideline, well, that gives your receiver room and time to adjust to whatever he throws over there. All right. So if he throw a shitty pass, if you have a good receiver, he can adjust to make a play. If you throw a good ball, I mean, it's right into the basket, right? So he don't have to adjust his body. But like I said, bottom of the numbers, that gives your quarterback 7 yards to play. 7 yards to play. All right. And then from there, that gives you 7 yards to teach him how to throw a good ball. Or even if you throw a bad release out of his ball, you still teaching him the tools of how to complete a successful high percentage pass. All right. So, like I said, this is glance right here. And all we're doing, backside has to go route. It's a race. So I tell my outside guys, it's a race to the bottom numbers, get upfield. But all we're doing here, we're just trying to create one-on-one matchups. And for the most part, we're creating that one-on matchups because say they have a too high look here. Obviously, I wouldn't throw it to this side. And if I want to throw to this side or make this guy honor something, I mean, you can put your H-back into the flax backside. There's a lot of things you can tag to the backside to create an open receiver. But for the most part, for this standstill picture, obviously, I wouldn't tell my quarterback to throw the ball to the backside just because it's a 2-on-1 look. But to the play side, because of the combinations, the routes that we're running, we're attempting to create a one-on-one matchup all off of this guy right here. All right. So for my air raid offensive guys, I believe this is an air raid concept right here. So a lot of my air raid coaches out there, this is something great. My wing T guys, you can actually run this out of the wing. All right. You just make a few adjustments to your tight end and your wing back routes. But for the most part, your backside two receivers, post route, vertical route. All right. So you'll still have that post vertical easily. And this, like I said, this is an air raid concept. You can have a 1 or 2, make a quarterback a 3, or you can tag a flat route or a flat threat to have a number 3 receiver. So there's a way you can do those things. All right. But like I said, this is glance. This is something that you can do like I said, to create a one-on-one matchup. So like I want to create that one-on-one matchup with that cornerback. All right. I'm not really occupied with the safety. But if the safety was to take that vertical, then obviously we have a wide open post in the middle of the field. But I want the one-on-one matchup out here because my Z and my offense, my Z receiver is my fastest guy. All right. You're the guy who I expect for you to beat every person out here in the race. So if we're taking a shot, we're taking a shot because we're running a full-fledged 40 and see who's the fastest. Who's the fastest man on the field? That's what that is. Like your guy versus my guy. Who has the juice? That's what we want to see. All right. So that's the beautiful thing about this play. Let's see. Last pass concept I want to throw out that is very successful versus this offense, like I said, versus defense, excuse me, like I said, with them being weak in the perimeter, crossing routes is a great thing to do out of this defense, all right? That crossing routes can confuse young guys real easily, all right? Confuse where their eyes go, can make them forget their actual assignments and allows you to create big plays, all right? One crossing route, I'm not going to give you a whole shebang. I'm just going to give you one out of my playbook. I'm not going to give you everything. I done gave y'all enough today. But one crossing route, and this is a part of my quick game. You have the slant arrow or the slant flat, whatever you want to call it. All right. Obviously, you have a backside slant here. Put it one-on-one if there's open grass. So this versus this look right now, obviously, we're telling my quarterback, if they give you grass here, throw the damn grass, throw the grass until they make you throw it away or make you look away from it. All right. So if they're giving us the one-on-one here with the corner and that safety is not cheating down or that wheel is not cheating out of that tackle box to help out, we want to throw to that. We got a one-on-one matchup every time all day. All right. High safety or not, it's one-on-one. I mean, I understand it's a 2-on-1 look because of the way the field is designed, but because of the route that we're running, you can't make that play unless you come down to make a tackle. And if you come down, you better not whiff, because if you whiff, sheesh. Your guy better be the dude. If he whiff, he better be running up the damn sideline, and I better be putting my hands up as a coach saying, yeah, that's Tug. All right? So that's the beautiful thing about this. But anyway, like I said, crossing routes. You can run like shallow drags, double drags. It really don't matter. Anything that crosses those defenders up is a great concept versus this. Like I said, we want to attack. We're putting pressure on those nickel backers, all right? Those slot defenders. We're putting pressure on those guys because his movement is going to tell our quarterback where to go with the ball. All right, obviously, if he sits here and allows that slant to come, and obviously this corner is going to run inside a little bit. He's going to open inside when he sees him run that slant route, and that gives us enough time to throw right underneath him. Or say they're just playing man in general, and he just runs with the slant, and this guy tries to run but collides with that slant route, or he just whiffs or anything in that fashion where you have the slant open now. All right, so anything that crosses those defenders up in the perimeter, that's the way you can actually create open space and for your receivers, and as a way to utilize the quick game to pretty much make you very successful. One last thing that I want to say that's also very effective versus this defense, and I'm not going to draw it up, but utilizing your running back. All right, obviously. After everybody's, and I'm pretty sure, and I'm going to say this just out of the sky blue because I'm expecting it to happen next season. After the way LSU offense is, or excuse me, after the way LSU offense produced, how they produced this past season, I guarantee you it's going to be a number of high school coaches is going to be doing a lot of running back route plays. All right, so they're going to have a lot of plays for the running back to get out into coverage. You might see him at receiver, but I guarantee you, you're going to see a bunch of coaches doing that stuff. All right, because obviously they seen LSU and they think, well, we run the same thing, we can put up just as many numbers. I'm not going to lie to you. If you have an O-line that can run empty and protect your quarterback, by all means, let it fucking fly. Let it fly. But if you have average linemen, if you have average offensive linemen in high school, I per se wouldn't run empty unless you have an athletic quarterback who can evade traffic and evade situations. But like I said from the jump, man, just because LSU ran it and they was very successful with their offense, you're going to see a lot of coaches put a lot more running back tag routes or true concepts where the running back is probably the primary receiver. And it's a great thing. I'm not gonna lie. If you can put your running back into the passing concept, I mean that puts it behind on the secondary. I mean that's another guy you have to worry about. Or that makes your linebackers have to get out of the tackle box and actually have to cover somebody, which some linebackers are not really that talented to do. So I'm gonna actually give you guys one play. I said I wasn't, but I'm gonna give you one play. And I actually stole this from my college, Missouri Valley. They called it Buffalo. All right. So basically, what Buffalo is, and some of my teammates. College teammates who's watching this video, they're going to know exactly what this play is. So what Buffalo is, you have double snags, all right? So you have double snag routes. and it's mirrored. You can mirror the concept if you want. I like mirroring concept just because it's faster teaching. But you have the double snag routes, and now with that snag route, you can do one or two things. All right, you can do one. You can put the H back into the flats. You can do that, or you can put the running back into the flats. Or if you want to have a five receiver concept, you can have a formation like this, and you can have your back running swing, or you can have them run a flat to the backside. It really don't matter. I prefer, me personally, if it's solo receiver side, I'd rather him run a swing route just because you got that spacing. But this is one concept I'm allowing y'all to steal if you like it. I'm allowing y'all to steal because I stole it and I freaking love it. Where your running backs are the number one read. All right. So this is a concept where your running backs are. Look at me. This is a concept you can use, and this is an air raid concept, guys. This is another air raid concept that I took. Like I said, I took this from my college, Missouri Valley College, when I played running back there and had a great career. But this is one of the plays they used for us in the backfield, where they was able to get me the ball quick into the flats and allow me to catch it and get off the turnover field and try to make something out of nothing if I could. But by moving those guys in, so obviously by doing this, what you're expecting this guy to run in with that snag. You're expecting that corner to run inside with that snag, and then that gives you grass as that H-back comes underneath, all right? Because these snag routes are 6 to 8 yards, all right? So I'll make sure I want to put that out. These snag routes are 6 to 8 yards, so you want them to get vertical, but you also want them to run at a 45-degree angle. And the reason why you want to do that, because you want these guys to have to turn their hips, all right? Like I said, I tell my guys, if you have the DB turning his hips, you got them where you want them. Because initially they're taught to be pretty, all right? DBs are pretty boys. They're pretty boys on the football field. They're the divas on the field, along with your receivers every once in a while. But your DBs are your pretty boys, so they just want to look pretty. They practice pretty. They compete pretty. You have some grimy receivers, grimy DBs out there that know how to turn on that switch. But for the most part, they practice pretty, they play pretty, and they ain't really out there trying to put no hat on nobody. So if you attack them with a running back, they're whiffing. They're going to whiff the play. They're not going to try to make that tackle, especially if the running back is physical. They're not going to want a part of that. They're going to die for ankles, or they're going to die for turf and eat a lot of turf up. So, like I said, this is a concept that you can use in your offense that can make you very effective by utilizing your running back as extra receivers out of the backfield. All right. You can, like I said, you can do something like this where I did it, or you can just off of looking at this, you can create your own concept. But for the most part, like I said, due to the fact that LSU utilized a lot of plays where their running back was running corner routes out of the backfield. They was attacking the flats hard, running out routes out of the back. Man, you're going to see a lot of high school coaches trying to do that. I'm not going to lie. I'm expecting to see that, but I guarantee you're going to see a lot of high school coaches trying to do that, and it was going to be a lot of running backs with some receiving yards next year, some big receiving yards, just because of what LSU did with their New Orleans Saints offense, all right? So anyway, guys, this is just another little twinkle of twine to attack the 3-3 stack with this right here. I'm gonna do one more deal, and then after that, man, that's gonna be a wrap for me. But another thing you can do that can make you very effective versus this defense is tightening and running formations where you have tight formations, strength formations, if you want to call it that way. So, for example, and I'm gonna draw up a formation here. So in this formation here, it's a bunch trips, or I learned bunch. I learned cluster. That's what I learned in college. But it's basically a bunch trips formation. So this is what you'll see. All right. Now from here, obviously, what you'll see here, you'll probably have the cornerback right there. So that's the look you'll more likely see when you run this formation. All right. That's how they should align. All right. The cornerback should have the grass to his ass. All right, and then your Sam or your striker, your striker should possibly be head up on that wide receiver, if not probably apexing between him and the H. But that's the look you will have. And one thing you see that, if you don't see, the one thing that you should see is grass. All right, open grass, because we're condensing down that cornerback, giving us grass out here, and that's a lot more field he has to cover by himself. All right, because obviously with this guy right here closer to the line of scrimmage, more than likely you might have a defensive coordinator telling him, just go get the ball. Go get the ball right now. Now, if you run a formation like this, like I said, you can still do the same thing of putting pressure to the perimeter and making these guys go through hell. All right, like for example, you do something like that. Just like that. Or you're not even that. You can adjust. If you don't want to run that, you can run a curl. You can run an out route. So you can do something like this. And now your safety is going to have to take that. If your striker is covering, he's going to chase, and your cornerback will be in the bind. Because now you're either going to take deep, you're going to take that out, or if you take the out, now you're giving away the flats. Having condensed formations versus a 50 stack gives you more options in a perimeter, or gives you more opportunities to be successful in perimeter. Run play you can run. And this is something that, like I said, I'm showing you some stuff that's, most of this stuff is really in my playbook, coaches. And like I said, I'm not one of those coaches, man, who feel like you should hide your playbook from guys, and guys gonna take it. I don't care. My general belief is you got to stop us. Like you have to stop us in order for me to adjust, to change what I'm doing. So if I have any rival coaches who actually I compete against next year, and you watching this, I hope you study hard, because at the end of the day, if you can't stop my guys, I don't give a damn what you watch on this video. My guys are better than yours. So, like I said, another thing you can do, because you have so much grass with that cornerback, and this is something I like doing as well. We actually played against a team when I coached at Highland Park High School. This was probably like almost 4 or 5 years ago. Real about. We played against Johnson City High School. All right, and they did this to us. They bust our ass with this formation all night, because all they did was they just ran simple toss play. All right. And what you see, the cornerback takes that striker. The Z receiver would take that striker right there. All right, we're trying to seal him inside. And now you have your H-back or your flex would take that corner. And you can do two things. I mean, you can have this guy lead to that safety, or he can help double that striker and climb the safety. But any way it goes, what this guy do determines what he does. Because what would happen, if he widens, I got a wall. He widens, I got a wall. So that I got a wall right here. If he wants to attack inside, God damn it, I got all that grass. The running back had easily grass. It's a race now. It's a race, and the only guy who should be able to make the play is that high safety. All right. So, like I said, man, this is condensing your formations down, running double tight end or double flex formations, forcing, if they like to run a too high 50 stack look, that will have to force this guy to come down and play, be a force player, and actually can help contain that edge. But condensing your formation, running dual tight end formations, attacking the perimeter, putting RPOs on your outside backers, and gashing that B gap if you can control that nose. These are all effective ways to attack the 3-3 stack defense, and can put your team in a great position to be successful and possibly win the game if you did your game planning and your kids prepared correctly. All right. So, like always, coaches, man, if you ever want to talk to me about ball, or if you want to be a part of the show, hit me up on Twitter at Coach0223. I'm always on there willing to talk ball. I'm always ready to talk ball, man. I'm a football guy through and through. It's in my blood, man. Another thing, just a quick promotion, obviously, Coach Alexander, all right? His Twitter is Coaching Savers, all right, with an S, Coaching Savers. He has a website. It's called coachingtimesavers.com for you coaches who might need help with creating play call sheets or wristband sheets. He has a website that is already have pre-made templates for you. You can easily purchase the item and use it yourself. I don't think it's very expensive, but I'm promoting that just because it's an effective tool that we coaches you can use, and it can eliminate timing with creating a whole call sheet template and going through that. That's something that time you can use doing something else. All right. So if you guys want a pre-made coaching call sheet or a pre-made wristband sheet, contact Coach Alexander. Like I said, his Twitter name is Coaching Savers with an S, Coaching Savers, Savers on Twitter, and his website is coachingtimesavers.com. All right. So that's what the product is on, and then you can contact him on Twitter. He can give you more details about that product, and hopefully that's something you can use in your program. Like I said, guys, anyways, hope you guys have a great day. Hope today was a very powerful day, like it was for me. If anybody never told you, coaches, I'm going to be the first to tell you, you're fucking awesome. Keep being awesome. Coach O'Neal out. And that's